on, bro. Get out, man. You gotta get out. Child, come on now, get out. Good boy. There you go. What's up? I'm Logan. I build stuff. Instead of building something this week, I thought I'd go back and kind of look through some of the things that I have done. Today we're gonna do a chessboard. I built this chessboard for my buddy for Christmas and kind of show you what that process was and some of the mistakes, some of the things that I probably could have done better, you know? I thought it came out pretty cool. There's definitely some stuff I could have done to make it look more like machine made, I guess. Like I did really well up until the polyurethane part. And so you'll see here in a little bit where I went wrong with that, and I'll show you what I did wrong too. Normally you brush that stuff on. This time I took a whole gallon like this and I just poured it on top of the chessboard. Made a bowl of plastic underneath it like to catch, you know, all the stuff that dripped off, and it was a total mess. The sides ended up looking great, like the side edging off of where the chessboard is looks pretty good. But the chessboard itself, it wasn't like perfectly level. So there were like a couple dips, kind of like you see in concrete where puddles form and stuff. We had some issues there where it kind of pulled and then it would like flake away, and it wasn't very good. It came out great. Let's we'll take a look at it here.
Ready?
Yeah. Wow. They've been clamped for like 2 days, so they should be good. But today, as you can see, I'm gonna have to sand, because you see that, you know, little lip. It looks like it's pretty bad right there. So here, let me actually see if I can demonstrate this real fast. I didn't film any of like how I cut the chessboard and all that stuff, but I do have like some scraps here that I can kind of show you with. The brown parts are cedar wood, so it's a dark brown, and then the white wood right there, that's poplar. But to start, like before I glued all this stuff together, I just say this is a poplar board and say this is a cedar board. I just glued them like that, back and forth in a pattern all the way across, and then you would end up having like your full board or whatever, right? But you wouldn't have the checkers, you would just have stripes at first, because you know, you would do that one pattern. So once you do that, the first pattern, like just striped, then you cut out 2-inch pieces from your striped wood that you just made, I guess. And then you rearrange that into the checkerboard pattern, and you glue that together just like you glued the first one together. I hope that makes some sense. When I had finished gluing it, the reason it was not level at all is because they were different woods, so they had different widths. I think the cedar was 1/8 thicker than the poplar one was. And there we go. Yeah, just got a sand. It looks pretty straight. This is not so bad. I was mostly worried about it being really warped, but I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty straight. So yeah, just ton of sanding, and then I'll start on like the edges here, because I'll have like some sort of kind of edging. And then I also want to put it in a big box, I think, and kind of have it. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do there yet, but I'm gonna put it in a box at some point, so. I made 2 of these boards. I only finished 1 of them though. So I was making one for my buddy and I was making one for me too. But on my board, I'll show you when I end up doing the video, it's pretty warped. It's because I clamped it too tight. If you clamp these boards too tight, they'll kinda like buckle together, I guess, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh. Heater's on, 1 second. I don't wanna edit that out. It's not totally put together, but she's basically clamped and stuff. So this is, okay, this is how it'll be. This is the OSB, and then here's our chessboard. So it is in these little slits. Gotta clean it up a little bit, maybe do some sanding, but that will be glued to the top of there, like that. And then I'm thinking about putting something like this for trim, just to clean it up a little bit. This, if I do this, it'll be like ripped in half, so it'll only be like half showing, so that the board itself will kind of look like it's still floating just a bit. So when I put the chessboard on that OSB, my thought process kind of was, we've installed a bunch of floors, so when you use glue down, we've put down glue down hardwood before. If you put that glue down and then the hardwood down, it's not going anywhere, man. That glue is super thick though, so I went crazy with it. I made sure it covered the entire 16-inch square. The chessboard would be on top of the OSB. So that thing is not going anywhere, man. I like to usually glue and like screw things in at the same time because that just gives you so much more strength. But in this case, you can live without screws if you use enough glue. Got the drawer finished just now. I cut about almost 3 inches off of it, so it's a little bit shorter. I'm about to glue it now, which is always scary because, God, I don't want to mess up. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. Once I glue up the box, then I'll have to glue the chessboard to the OSB, and then I'll flip it around and put a bottom on it. And that oak bottom is what we're going with. So I'll put like a face on this drawer with a knob, and then his logo I'm gonna print off a printer and put adhesive paper kind of stuff, and we'll put it like in the corner there or something. But then yeah, we almost there. So that logo, I ended up using a printer for it. It's from a buddy. He has a construction business. It's Martin's Home Improvement. I'll link it in the description. He does phenomenal work. Put his logos on the sides. I want to say too, I didn't preface this, but it took me a good month, I want to say, to get this thing done. I think it was a month. I also had never done this, so it was like the first big dog kind of project that I thought I could try to tackle, and it ended up being pretty cool. So I got the drawer finished, finally. That is what I just got done doing. It comes out, got a bottom and everything. It's where I have a little bag of pieces, that's where that will go. So also in the front here, I'll have a face. I'll have like this will sit flush against that, like that. And then I'll have just like a face, like a normal drawer or whatever. All I gotta do is attach a bottom to it, and then I'll be on to staining, and then we all done, finally. Here's our drawer. So like, yeah. So you can see I left a bunch of glue on the side there. I was sending these videos to my aunt, so I ended up cleaning that later, but you know, normally, like as soon as you glue, wipe that down, you know, and then wait until the glue stops coming out of there to, you know, do something else. Because like, if that glue dries on there and then you put polyurethane, or especially a stain, like a stain on top of that glue looks way different than the stain on top of the wood. So just get all that glue off while it's wet, because man, it is hard to sand off. It's more trouble to leave the glue on wet than it is to let it dry. So many of my projects, this couch that I'm sitting on, I made, I let the glue dry and I just had to, it was hours of sanding, it took forever. But anyway, don't do that. It's in there, all good, got the, you know, little pulley, whatever. So that knob, I ended up gluing it to the drawer, and I used, what are they called? Brad nails. I used brad nails on that. I think I put 3 in there all the way across. It won't come out either, so we good. Get stuck. So we got our trim. I'm going to sand, you know, like this crap where it's not great. So on those like corner pieces where they were hanging off, they were only held down with glue. So I just held them down with a finger and then using my palm sander to kind of go across there and make it flat. So it ended up looking a lot better. Also, these little things I'm gonna have to beat in and then putty, which will be easy. But yeah, dude. And then sand it and all that crap. And then we're good. So, very, very close, finally. So I beat those brad nails in with a 16th inch hole punch. I think it's called it's not a hole punch, it's a punch. So I put the hole punch on the end of the brad nail and then I hammered it in like once or twice. As long as you don't move the hole punch as you're swinging that thing, you can get that brad nail down underneath the wood, and then you can cover it with wood putty. That's what I did. And my wood putty was, I've watched a ton of videos on YouTube about this, but you take a cup and you put it on the end of your table saw where the sawdust comes out, collect a bunch of the wood's sawdust that you're cutting, and then I took some wood glue and I poured it in there, and it ended up being the perfect, like the exact color match of what I needed, you know what I mean? So you can use regular wood putty, but the problem with that sometimes is like if you're staining it, a lot of times it's not the same color as your wood, which I don't like. I don't like the blotchiness. I like to keep it as solid as possible, you know what I mean? And so in this case, I wasn't staining the chessboard, I was just polyurethaning it, but I still wanted that to cover up the brad nail and match the trim that I had cut there. I can't really show you how I made the drawer because it's in the box already. So this has really got me wanting to finish mine too. But I will show you when we do mine. I can't wait, it's gonna be cool. It's made out of the same wood, cedar and poplar. His box was made out of poplar, that whiteness, you know, on the box. Mine is gonna end up being that dark brown color, but there's also this white stripe across it. Or if they was all like talking. So I thought those colors went pretty well together. I remember too, this one, it was so much sanding. I wanted it to not, you don't feel anything. Like this thing is like almost glass smooth. That's all the video I ended up shooting of like putting it together. Pretty soon, maybe in a couple weeks, because I have all the wood together. I just have to find the time to put it together, you know. I really like the way it turned out. It was a big challenge. Like I did not know that I could do something like that, which I thought was cool too. And I think it's something that's gonna last. Like, I like the idea that stuff lives beyond you like that. That's pretty cool, because it's like a piece of you to some degree, you know. So that's pretty sweet. So thanks for watching. I'll have another one out next week, hopefully. I'm not sure what I'm gonna build just yet next, but hopefully it'll be something pretty cool. Come here, Bob. Come on, say bye. Say bye. Say goodbye. He hates me. He's gonna eat me one day. So yeah, I'll be out hopefully next week with another one. Man, I appreciate you getting. How do you do in the outro?